Hey everybody, Alex the Critic here, and it's once again time to step into the cruel, uncreative void that is the world of Magical Girl Friendship Squad. Today, I'm going to be looking at the 4th episode of this godforsaken show. But of course, before I can get started, I've got to summarize everything that's happened in the story up to this point.
Our protagonists, who are two young women named Alex and Daisy, share an apartment in an as-of-yet unnamed city and work various odd jobs to support themselves. Their peaceful life is disrupted by the arrival of the creator of their universe, a female deity named Nut, who chooses them to be the avatars through which she can protect the Earth from malevolent deities that wish to destroy it. In their time as wielders of such awesome powers, us viewers have seen the girls go on quite a few adventures, do battle with various enemies of unique backgrounds, and grapple with quite a few earth-shattering revelations. We've found out that Nut has gone through puberty, Daisy grew up in a cult that her parents were devout members of, and the big bad of the show is tied to a giant corporate conglomerate that owns many of the products and services that the characters in this universe utilize on a daily basis, Aggregon. We've also found out that each of our supposed heroes are narcissistic, egotistical megalomaniacs who have openly condemned several innocent people to die, if not outright murdered them. But you can go watch my other reviews of this show if you want to learn more about that.
Now that you guys have gotten the gist of what's been going on, let's see where the story goes from here, because Lord knows I have nothing better to do with my time.
The episode opens on a fight that Alex and Daisy are in the middle of having with this half-plant, half-human monster that looks like a Pokemon would if it were designed by Junji Ito, while he was drunk.
It's crazy that we haven't defeated this thing yet, considering how many succulents I've killed by accident.
Succulent better just be a term for this monster's minions, because if Alex has just admitted that she and Daisy have gotten more innocent civilians killed, I'm gonna end the review right here.
Daisy puts an end to the beast for good by transforming her magic bong into a hose and spraying it with water, because of course she knows how to do that. Before the monster dies, however, it shoots out a sharp projectile from its mouth that grazes Daisy's shoulder, leaving her with a noticeable gash.
Okay, class, let's come out of the deep meditation that I definitely led you into on purpose.
Was that woman responsible for bringing the monster here? Because that is a really suspicious line of dialogue.
As Alex and Daisy drag the corpse of the monster out of the yoga studio, Nut notices the cut on Daisy's arm and warns her that such a cut from an extraterrestrial source could leave her vulnerable to extraterrestrial diseases.
It's a good thing that she's only brought this specific issue up now, despite there being multiple instances in previous episodes where Alex and Daisy have gotten cuts from the otherworldly monsters they've faced. I smell a contrived setup for the episode's plot!
Daisy assures Nut that she'll heal her wound by taking her signature hot box shower, which involves her smoking pot while taking a shower. When Nut points out how obviously unhelpful this solution is, Daisy snaps back at her, although what she says doesn't inspire much confidence.
Oh, someone's fancy. Let me guess. You also think it's gross that I stick my finger in my belly button because I secretly love the smell.
Do you do that?
No.
Man, just how disgusting of a person is Daisy? Between this and using W2 forms as tampons, I'm surprised that she hasn't had to deal with any serious infection before this point. How can Alex stand living with such an unsanitary person? Then again, Alex has used her own period blood to defeat some of their enemies, so maybe the reason why she can stand Daisy is because she's just as disgusting as her.
Anyways, we cut back to the girls' apartment, where Daisy is indeed smoking weed while taking a piping hot shower. As she's about to take another hit from her bong, however, a sentient mushroom springs out from her wound and starts shit-talking her.
Sup, slut?
What? Hello?
Nut was right. This shower might as well be kicked in pure shit.
You filthy little piglet slut. Oink.
Oh, I'm going to like this episode, aren't I?
Daisy smothers the creature with her hand, and we smash cut to the outside hallway, where she and Alex are making their way to the cafe. Upon coming across their landlord, Lulu, Daisy asks Alex to throw her down the stairs in order to keep them from having to talk to her. Alex, however, walks down the stairwell and has a pleasant exchange with Lulu, sharing a laugh over a bad pun she makes with the word tenant. After they leave their apartment building, a shocked Daisy wonders why Lulu is being so nice to them, since, if you remember back to what was established in the pilot episode of the show, the three of them weren't exactly on nice terms.
Well, 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 the millennial freeloaders of 2B. Might I ask where the rent is, or did you eat it with your avocado toast? The first isn't till tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so you better hop off our dicks, Lulu.
Whoa there, I think what Daisy means is we will definitely have the rent on time. We respect you.
Good, because if it's late again, I'm slapping an eviction notice on your door as soon as I get my son over here to fix my printer.
And Alex gives her an equally shocking explanation.
No, she's just not pissed for once. I've been making so much money at Agragon, I paid our rent and internet through next month.
You what?
Wow, for once, I'm actually on Daisy's side. Need I remind you people that in the previous episode, Alex and Daisy broke the latter's parents out of a secret chamber in Agragon's headquarters where innocent people were being kidnapped and having their emotional energy siphoned from them before ultimately getting converted into robots. This prison break involved them publicly transforming into their Guardian outfits, breaking a lot of private company property, and having very noticeable battles with said robots. Now, because I refuse to believe that there wasn't at least one security camera that captured all of this carnage, I have to ask why Agragon is keeping Alex employed despite knowing her secret instead of, you know, dealing with her. Well, Critic, maybe this is all part of some scheme on Agragon's part to corrupt Alex, or maybe learn some stuff about her that they can then use against her. Okay, even if that's what's going on here, that still doesn't make very much sense. Shouldn't Alex be smart enough to be suspicious that this evil corporation is keeping her employed? Look, I'm glad that Alex is progressing positively as a character insofar as handling her financial responsibilities go, but this plot point makes no sense given what's been established in the previous episode. It's like these writers are hoping that nobody's remembered what has happened up to this point. You know what? Let's just move on before I pop a blood vessel.
Alex goes on to tell Daisy that because of the great things going on in her life, she feels confident enough to ask out the guy from the coffee shop that she's had her eye on from the beginning of the series, which is exactly what she proceeds to do.
Coffee dude.
Coffee lady, what's up? Working hard or hardly working?
Working pretty hard. I just started a gig at Agragon, actually.
Wow, you got an agri-gig? Congrats.
Wow, we're seeing more positive development for these characters? Maybe this'll be the one good episode of this abomination.
Alex is riding this numbskull's limp dick so hard it's coming out of her nose.
She can't wait to wife him up and move out of your crusty skid mark of an apartment. Did anybody hear that?
I told her she shouldn't have bought weed from that hobo who lives behind the corner store.
Did someone just say something?
I said, what have you been up to?
You know, same old same.
Wow, you're a fucking loser.
Hey, screw you, man. You're a loser.
Whoa, girl, sorry, I didn't.
Now we're being given a funny exchange between characters where the crux of the joke is that Daisy sucks as a person? Man, this really is gonna be the one good episode of this show.
Alex takes Daisy aside and asks her what the hell is going on. Daisy explains that she's being spoken to by what she calls magical mushroom things. Alex comes to the very reasonable conclusion that she's probably tripping on shrooms, which leads to this outburst from Daisy.
Not those kinds of magic mushrooms. I'm not on drugs, Alex. I'm sick.
That's the first sensible thing she's said all series.
Okay, geez. Then go to the doctor.
You know I don't have health insurance. I mean, I would be included on yours if you hadn't selfishly refused to marry me.
She's joking. I am extremely unmarried, never been married, which is wild because I'd make an amazing wife. Just go to the urgent care where your ex works.
So, why is Alex friends with Daisy again? Not only is she completely unhygienic, but she's also a selfish prick who wanted to force Alex to marry her just so that she could get free health care. Not to mention that she doesn't like nor respect any of Alex's interests or hobbies, if the second episode is anything to go by.
No!
Alex?
You know I need Carla St. Beverly's easy listening, smooth jazz jams to focus.
Then take it into your own room, Mom.
How do these cool teenagers know who you are, Nut? You're not cool.
And that's really cold, coming from Carla St. Beverly's #1 fan. Wait, it's working! Your boring mom stuff is killing their vibe! Keep going!
Last but not least, she's also a rude, impulsive jackass whom Alex constantly has to babysit so that she doesn't cause more trouble for them. It's hard for me to buy that these two have a sisterly bond when this show has done absolutely nothing to demonstrate whatever positive qualities Daisy has that attracted Alex to her. But I digress.
Alex resumes her conversation with her crush, which forces Daisy to heed her advice and seek medical treatment from her ex. We then smash cut to a medical examination room, where said ex, a petite young woman with long pink hair fashioned into twin tails, flirts with her in a not-so-subtle way.
I was so happy to hear from you. Anything you need, anytime. Even if it's 3 in the morning. Really?
Wait a minute. You're telling me that Daisy bagged a woman who was not only a doctor, but an attractive woman, and she broke up with her? You know what, writers? I already have plenty of reasons to hate this character. I don't need another.
Look at this cut. Isn't it freaky?
Your student loans are getting bigger every second you sit here, dipshit.
Heh, that's nothing. You should see what the last guy I treated looked like.
It's a pretty small cut. You definitely don't need stitches.
The cut is at least 3 inches wide and seems to be an inch deep. What are you talking about? You know what? I take it back. Maybe there is a reason Daisy broke up with this moron.
See, piss pube? You're such a boring tote bag full of boogers you can't even bleed in a cool way.
Alright, guy. I'm rooting for you, but try to come up with more creative insults here.
Daisy insists that there's more to her wound than meets the eye, and asks her ex why she can't hear the tiny screams that she's being subjected to. Her ex recommends that they go for a walk so that they can talk about it, but after being called crazy by her apparent hallucination, Daisy turns the offer down and runs out of the room, insisting that she's fine.
Well, she'd have health insurance if she hadn't refused to marry me.
I've only known this woman for less than a minute, and we aren't even given her name, but I already feel more sympathy for her than I do for any of these other assholes. How is that even possible?
Back at the girls' apartment, Daisy once again takes a hotbox shower, where she tries to convince herself that these little anthropomorphic mushrooms don't exist. This goes about as well as you'd think.
We know you're too cowardly to tell your parents you don't believe in their turd-brained cult, because then Mommy and Daddy won't love you anymore.
But didn't Daisy's parents disown her at the end of the last episode anyways?
Daughter, what happened?
Mom, Dad, I'm so sorry I showed you the internet and it brought you into, well, it doesn't matter, but I saved you.
We were about to get raptured, and you stopped it?
It was all as the scrolls foretold. We were one plague of bugs away from finally meeting the Lord of Unspeakable Torment.
You don't deserve to shriek, Carol. We're going back to Michigan.
And, didn't Daisy come to terms with this at the end of said episode?
I'm glad they're okay, but it kind of sucks that my parents would rather be bots than get to know the real me.
Daisy, we each have the power to choose our own families. I know that because of you.
You do?
Vanderpump Rules. Season 2.
Who wants some free snacks?
Lord of Unspeakable Torment, bless us everyone.
Listen, guys, I hate Daisy as much as y'all do, but let's try not to go against the show's continuity here.
Alex is gonna buy a condo with her yuppie clownfucker friends at Aggregon, and you're going to be all alone, struggling to open a cold can of beans for dinner.
One can only dream.
Even your superpowers aren't yours. You have to get them from a magical bong because you're a pathetic stoner with weirdly skinny ankles.
So, for as much as I'm enjoying this scene, it is probably the worst one in this episode. And it's for a very simple reason. The writers want us to feel sorry for Daisy, but I don't. The reason why I don't is because the past 4 episodes of this show have featured Daisy acting like an absolute scumbag in various different ways.
Well, the millennial freeloader's a 2B. Might I ask where the rent is, or did you eat it with your avocado toast?
The first isn't till tomorrow, right?
Yeah, so you better hop off our dicks, Lulu.
No!
Alex.
You know I need Carla St. Beverly's easy listening, smooth jazz jams to focus.
Then take it into your own room, Mom. I have foot pics and forged celebrity paraphernalia to sell.
Forged?
Who's to say these aren't Ariana's Band-Aids? Who among us can claim Kylie did not get a stress-induced nosebleed on these tissues after hearing the new Kanye? Damn, Star Junk, that's rent, utilities, and I can finally pay you back for the money you lent me last year that I didn't tell you about till now.
It is a shame that you are a grown woman who has to hide who she is.
Oh, so you're really a talking red panda, not a god who needs the help of 2 idiots to keep your own universe from being destroyed?
So why ought I be upset that her failures are being thrown back in her face? If these writers had an ounce of creativity in their bodies, they could have used this scene to have Daisy finally confront the trauma she's endured from the many horrible actions she's committed, such as her killing and mutilating the body of that innocent woman that she and Alex killed at the end of the first episode. You know, the thing she said they ought not process emotionally.
We just chopped up a dead body.
Don't think about it. Bury it deep inside.
But no, instead of having that nice little attention to detail that would have rewarded anyone who actually gave a damn about this show's story, the mushrooms instead berate Daisy for things that aren't that important in comparison, while flat out ignoring things that were brought up in the previous episode. Nice going, idiots!
Daisy, is everything okay?
The duration of your shower is approaching 3 hours.
3 hours? Ha! Those are rookie numbers.
After Daisy wraps her shower up and steps out of the restroom, Nut tells Daisy that her infection has only gotten worse, and an ecstatic Daisy asks her to confirm that she does indeed notice what's going on. Nut assures her that she can see the mushrooms, but that only an infected host can hear what they're saying, and further explains that they're called mushruminations. We learn that, as an immortal being, Nut is immune to this kind of infection. How convenient. And when Daisy asks how to get rid of them, Nut gives her this answer.
Mushroom emanations are difficult to eradicate. The best tactic is confidence.
Shouldn't Daisy need something to be confident about first?
How can I be confident when there's a voice in my ear telling me that if David Bowie were alive, he'd think I was a narc and a poser?
Have you considered picking up sewing?
You cannot let their attacks upset you. They thrive on stress.
Okay, so I'll do what I usually do when I'm stressed and throw myself into a project.
God damn it, I was joking about taking up sewing.
Not exactly what I meant. We also need to be sure to contain the infection. Who else have you had physical contact with today?
Wait a minute, these things spread via direct contact? Well then, how come Alex hasn't had to deal with these things before this point? She's spent the most time with Daisy out of anyone in this episode. Did the writers really only have the mushrooms start to bother her when it was convenient for the plot?
The answer is yes, as the next scene has Alex visiting a clothing store, with mushrooms visibly sprouting all over her body. After being shown to a private dressing room, whereupon we get a funny exchange between her and the employee who was helping her.
Thanks. Gotta find the perfect first date outfit. Well, it might not be a date. First hang. But I don't want it to look like I bought an outfit for him. It's for me, so that I feel confident. For him, you know?
Yeah, I don't think a new outfit will help whatever's going on with you.
The mushrooms tell her that she's poor and that her crush only invited her out for nefarious reasons. She begins to cry, which I do feel a little sorry for because she is a much kinder person than Daisy, and we cut back to the employee, whom we briefly follow in order to see them inadvertently spread the disease to other people. After her little crying session, Alex heads back to her apartment, where she's taken aback by Daisy's weird paint job.
Daisy, what the hell? Our apartment looks like your DeviantArt page.
Daisy goes on DeviantArt? That explains so much about her.
Why are you even home? Shouldn't you be buying fancy clothes to impress your precious coffee dude?
Why? Do you think you made a bet about making me ugly prom queen?
Right, because a prom queen like you would never want to live with a pothead loser like me.
You did really good choosing these two to be your guardians, didn't you, Nut?
Silence! Can you not see what is happening? You are both being bled dry by mushroom emanations.
Are you sure about that? Because they aren't acting any differently from how they usually act.
Mushroomanations?
A parasite from another universe got into my cut. Keep up.
Wow, what a kind and understanding friend. Makes me wonder how Alex ever got through life without Daisy by her side.
Alex complains that the mushroomanations aren't letting her think, and Daisy takes her to their bathtub, where they both take a shower together while Nut watches over them. Man, that sounds pretty weird out of context.
He keeps saying I'm gonna screw things up with Coffee Dude.
Him? I bet he's at home right now jerking off just thinking about how lucky he is to get to go out with you.
Daisy being pretty kind and supportive to her friend would be pretty cool if the writers didn't shoehorn a sex joke into her line. Seriously, are these women incapable of talking to one another without making sexually explicit comments?
Aw, you think? Oh, cool.
Hold on, Nut wasn't exaggerating when she said that confidence was all that these two needed to make these creatures go away? God damn, these are the weakest monsters ever if all it takes to defeat them is a single positive thought.
What are you saying?
That I'm dead weight around here since you're paying the rent.
Too bad my girl Daisy knows our value as human beings isn't defined by our income, am I right?
Yeah! Screw you, capitalist dicks!
Guys, Alex's comment didn't actually address what Daisy said. Daisy isn't upset because she isn't making as much money as Alex is. She's upset because she feels as though she's a loser for shoving all of her responsibilities onto Alex, thereby making her dead weight. And she's right to feel that way, because she is dead weight. This is the same woman who wanted to force Alex to marry her just so that she could have free health care. Or did you guys just forget that you established that earlier? Daisy being uplifted by her friend here would be a sweet moment if Alex had bothered to address what her friend's actual concerns were, but instead, the writers threw in some stupid and forced political commentary because, as we've established, they have no idea what in the hell they're doing. As a consequence, these guys have unwittingly showcased just how toxic the friendship of their main characters is. I mean, if Alex can't point to one specific positive quality that Daisy has, then why do they hang around each other?
The infection is eradicated, and just in time. I did not want to worry you, but mushroomanations have a tendency to spread quickly. This could have been quite disruptive.
I can't make this left. I'm a terrible driver. I shouldn't have dropped out of culinary school.
Are you mad at me?
Are you mad at me?
Oh my god. I cannot believe it. The writers actually wrote a joke that got a laugh out of me. I'm not talking about a smirk or a light chuckle, which the show has already gotten a few of from me. That scene with the pigeons genuinely got a full-blown belly laugh from me. Credit where it's due, I was not expecting that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there's no way we can make this many people suddenly feel confident outside of a Lizzo concert.
And they've immediately ruined whatever goodwill they've built up by throwing out a pop culture reference that'll date this episode terribly. I really have to stop getting my hopes up.
The colony must have a leader who can call off the mushroomanations.
And you know this how exactly?
Most likely in an environment reminiscent of their dank and fetid home universe.
The FCK Discord server.
As funny as that would be, the actual home base of the mushroomanations happens to be the subway, which Alex and Daisy managed to correctly guess on their first go because the plot needed them to. Nut urges them to handle the problem themselves, and when Alex accuses her of doing this for a shallow reason, we get another stunning display of heroism from the supposed creator of the universe.
You're wasting valuable time. Go.
Like I said before, this series actually presents quite a compelling argument for Satan's existence.
Alex and Daisy take this opportunity to transform into their guardian outfits. And before we move on, can we take a quick second to talk about the music that plays during this sequence?
This is some of the most uninspired punk rock drivel I've heard in a while. Not only is it low energy, with the singer barely sounding as though they're trying to evoke any emotions from their listener, but the lyrics are filled with pandering nonsense, and their composition is kindergarten level to boot. On top of that, the guitar work is equally as bland and uninspired, sounding like what you would hear as the pause menu music in a low-budget rock and roll video game. If those things weren't bad enough, most of this show's soundtrack is composed of equally lame songs that all blend together and sound the exact same.
Girls, use your magical objects.
I have to say what? Oh, fine. Long Selleck? What?
Shit, what was my thing again?
I don't know who this Selleck guy is, but his mustache is sexy.
Birth control. Regulated cycle. How do we finish them off?
I didn't even realize that these were different songs until I looked at the credits of each episode. But what pains me the most about this music is that the producers put in the effort to find all of these indie bands and stick their songs in their show to enhance the mood of certain scenes, and yet they still couldn't be bothered to put together a real intro for their show.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Anyways, Alex and Daisy land inside their city's subway system after their transformation sequence. And I would question how the hell they got here like that, considering that there's at least 4 or so feet of concrete separating them from the subway, but the episode is almost over, and I don't want to make this video longer, so I won't. After being disgusted by the smell, which I still don't get, aren't sewers the areas of a city that smell really bad? We find out that the Mushroomanations are lining the tunnels.
Oh, geez, they really do spread fast.
What if this tunnel caves in and we're squished into toe jam? I'm never gonna be as elegant as a chanterelle.
Why can we hear them down here?
Nut said only a host can hear her own parasites. I guess it's because these guys don't have a host.
Wait a minute. If the Mushroomanations can be seen and heard by anyone if they don't have a host, remember, Alex wouldn't be able to tell if the infection's gotten this bad if she couldn't see the damn things. Then how the hell hasn't anyone else seen these things in the subway up to now? They aren't exactly keeping a low profile here.
Where's your leader?
Can't tell you, you pimple-popping dump truck. You'll try to forage her.
Don't flatter yourselves. We just want to talk to her.
We'd never let antifungal spit skinks like you talk to Mama Mushroom.
In that case, sunlight can be a great disinfectant.
Okay, we'll take you to her.
I think we're up to 14 or 15 powers that these two have that they can use perfectly on their first go, despite not knowing that they had them. At this point, I'm just thankful that the Deus Ex Machina here is a little less contrived. Like, I can actually see Daisy mastering a power like this pretty quickly. Also, I know that I've already said this, but these are the lamest bad guys ever. Christ, they make the horny emos from the second episode look badass. At least those guys had powerful magic at their disposal that they knew how to use.
One of the Mushroomanations lead Alex and Daisy to a dead end further inside the subway, where this weird purple fungus is growing out of the ground. They demand that it leaves, mistaking it for being the Mama Mushroom figure the underlings were telling them about. After a few seconds of tense silence from the fungus, Alex and Daisy get ready to attack, only to stop when they hear a frail old voice call out to them.
Wait.
You're Mama Mushroom?
That's right, you bitch-assed piss guzzlers. We Mushroomanations are from Hubris, a universe where all life forms are overconfident and foolhardy.
Why didn't you respond to Alex and Daisy when they first called out to you? Were you in the middle of a nap?
In Hubris, mushrooms like me protect and serve the ego. We keep it in check. You'd know that if you weren't such self-involved navel slurpers.
Why are you agreeing with her? What she just said made no sense. How were you guys supposed to know that these guys play an important role in their own universe's ecosystem if this is your first time ever talking to them? This scene would make more sense if Alex and Daisy's mushroomanations had tried to tell them where they were from, only to be ignored, but that never happened. So what in the hell is this nonsense supposed to mean? Furthermore, why are you guys taking Mama Mushroom at face value? She hasn't done anything to earn your immediate trust.
Now we've formed a new home in your universe to protect you.
Rewind. Protect us?
How is telling me I'm the human equivalent of a rotten egg fart protecting me?
Because it makes you sad, which in turn keeps you from being the disrespectful pissant that you usually are, which in turn makes you more pleasant to be around.
Well, what if you are the human equivalent of a rotten egg fart? Isn't it better to know?
Not really.
Why not? Seriously, why not? Are the writers trying to tell us that Daisy being a piece of shit is a good thing? I'm not sure how to feel about that.
And why would you want to make us feel like we're going to grow apart as friends?
Because even they can see how blindingly obvious the toxicity of your friendship is.
Just so you can be ready if it does happen.
Yeah, what she said.
Mama Mushy, you little dumbass.
You were trying to help us. Badly.
Wow, are they serious? How do these two know that Mama Mushroom isn't just stringing them along here so that she and her forces can attack the two of them from behind their backs? I mean, come on, guys. By this point, you should be at least a little skeptical of the magical entities you run into. But okay, let's assume that these guys are on the up and up. Doesn't this mean that Alex and Daisy have killed dozens of these creatures?
Yeah, remember what happened back when Alex and Daisy raised each other's confidence? The mushroomanations that riddled their bodies didn't just jump off and run away, which we now know they're perfectly capable of doing. They instead poofed right out of existence. There's no other way to read that other than them being murdered.
God damn it. Even when this show is trying to show our main characters being kind and compassionate, they still wind up killing dozens of innocent people. At this point, the show should just be retitled The Magical Girl Murder Squad.
Why don't we try to get you home?
You would do that? For me?
And for us. Mostly for us.
Yeah, confronting your flaws and trying to better yourself as a person is for pussies. Who's with me?
You don't know how to do this, right?
Oh no, I'm totally bullshitting.
Alright, see? Here the characters are admitting that they don't know how to do half of the stuff that they pull off on this show. So, for anybody who might try to argue with me that these characters do all of their training off-screen, here are the writers basically admitting that they pull the resolutions to their conflicts out their ass. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Being self-aware that your story is contrived doesn't make it any less contrived.
Alex and Daisy nevertheless open an interdimensional portal that they term a friendship portal, and Daisy expresses surprise at their little stunt actually succeeding.
Alright, I'll give the writers a wee bit of credit here. It is nice of the characters to finally acknowledge that they're pulling off a miracle here.
Jesus, I'm actually grateful to you two dingleberry fuck nuggets and simultaneously prepared for all the potential downsides to this happy moment. Want to hear some of them?
Nope!
Come on, my baby!
Is everyone on this show a retard? How does Mama Mushroom know that Alex and Daisy aren't just sending her and her subjects to a volcano or a black hole or some shit? For all she knows, that portal could be leading all of them to a frozen wasteland, and yet she's placing her trust in two complete strangers that she's just met for no other reason than because the plot needs her to.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
No. Come back! Self-loathing is my greatest motivator!
We're coming home, Mama!
Here's a good question. How come Agragon didn't do anything with these mushroomanations? Using sentient parasites to make people miserable by voicing their own internal struggles back at them would make turning them into robots a hell of a lot easier than just using rage bait articles. I mean, if the goal is to siphon their energy from them by tapping into their emotions, this would be a far more efficient way of doing it. Given how naive and trusting these morons are, you're seriously expecting me to buy that our big bad couldn't find some way to use their powers for their own nefarious goals? The writers couldn't find any way to tie this episode's story into the main plot outside of a stupid cutaway gag about Corvin's workout routine.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Incredible. How did you know how to open a portal to the precise universe the Mushroomanations came from?
And how do you know for sure that they even had a universe to go back to?
They'll be fine, right?
Are you hungry?
I should be angry about this answer, but I'm pretty much numb to the idea of these writers giving us the middle finger when it comes to making their story make sense. At least here, Alex and Daisy genociding an entire species is implied rather than outright shown, unlike the first episode. Gotta take your wins where you can get 'em, I guess.
Back on the surface, Alex and Daisy eat a slice of pizza together as they walk back to their apartment. At the doorstep to their building, Alex freaks out upon seeing the coffee shop guy, who's been sitting there waiting for her for who knows how long.
Oops.
She apologizes to him for forgetting about their date, but the coffee shop guy, whose name I'm now realizing we haven't been given either, assures her that he's glad she's here at all. He tells her that a voice in his head, which Alex now knows was the Mushroomanations, was telling him that she was gonna stand him up. After a stupid joke about how fit he is, Alex kindly dismisses his concerns and invites him into her apartment, which leads to a joke that's actually funny.
On second thought, let's go out.
So that was the 4th episode of Magical Girl Friendship Squad, and as painful as it might be to admit, it's definitely the best one.
Now, do not get me wrong, this episode still sucks donkey dick. Not only does its plot rely entirely on half-baked contrivances that seriously make you question if the writers are even paying attention to plot points they established previously, but it also shows Daisy at her absolute worst, with her refusing to acknowledge the serious flaws she has that the Mushroomanations confronted her with, and potentially sending the entire species to their graves with a transportation spell that, by her own admission, she didn't know how to pull off properly. I find it simply laughable that the writers want us to sympathize with Daisy considering all of this. Not to mention that this episode does nothing to advance the main plot, and doesn't even reference the main plot outside of a stupid cutaway gag. But if you can look past all of that, There's actually a lot to appreciate in this episode. For one, it shows Alex growing positively as a person, with her finally making a move on the guy she has a crush on and remaining gainfully employed, even if her remaining at Aggregon makes no sense. For two, this episode tried to develop our protagonists by having them face their inner struggles. It didn't do a good job at that, but I'll take Alex and Daisy opening up to each other about their problems over them taking foot fetish pictures and having sexually charged conversations about Mitch McConnell any day of the week. For three, this was by far the funniest episode of the show. There were jokes in here that got a full-blown belly laugh from me, which I'm still shocked about. It also doesn't hurt that most of the jokes are at the expense of Alex and Daisy, two characters I don't really like to begin with. Last but not least, the new characters that were introduced in this episode did not make me want to kill myself. At least, not any more than I usually do when I'm watching this show. Hell, I'm kind of hoping that we get to see some more of Daisy's ex-girlfriend, since she seems like an interesting character.
So yeah, despite its myriad of issues, episode 4 of Magical Girl Friendship Squad wound up being the best one. Again, that's not to say that it's good, but it wasn't a complete waste of time. Maybe this is one of those shows that gets slightly better at the latter end of it, to the point where it actually becomes watchable. A man can only dream. I'm Alex the Critic, and I'll see you guys next time.